What's up with that? You need a steering wheel back there.
Yeah.
And a brake?
Yeah, and no pedals.
No pedals.
You can go as fast as you want then, right?
And we had that here.
Well, just a reminder, guys, Halloween night at the Elks, there's gonna be a community service event, so there's gonna be, I think, about 9 entities out there: Lions Club, United Center, Rock House, Library, of course, Health and Human Services, can't even remember, but a bunch of cool stuff for the kids to do. If you guys all wanna come by, bring your kids by, Dan, everybody, you guys as well, if you're in town.
Trunk or treat?
Trunk or treat, yeah, so they're doing trunk or treat, and I think there'll be other people doing trunk or treats with it, so, I mean, we're just, these kids are loaded for bear at the end of, the, you know,
It sounds kind of sketchy, but it's pretty cool.
No, I think this is gonna be good. I'm very excited about my booth, so you have to at least come and see my booth.
Are you wearing costumes?
I will be a zombie librarian.
Zombie library.
Courtney Reynolds is doing my makeup, and I think Doug will be a zombie librarian too.
Are you gonna be doing a reading?
No, it's really you're gonna go in the tent, and there's gonna be a coffin with a kind of a ghoul and foggers and scary music. So you go in, and I give you candy at the end.
Zombie candy?
We need one more person to scare people on the way in, but that's okay. Maybe next year.
And there will be a parade before that.
Well,
Minor Street,
yeah, it's gonna be huge.
Brownsville Elementary.
Next year, who knows what we could do. Major destination for Halloween. Good backdrop.
What time does it start?
We're gonna start at 4:30. Go until we think we'll probably end around 8:30. That's when kids usually roll back home.
I'm coming over.
Yeah, come on up. Yeah, that'd be great. Will you dress up? You could be in the. All right, you have to be monitor the candy with Doug because those guys are.
You just mess your hair up a little bit.
Yeah, you got the great beard. John, you came out a few times when we did it at the Elks. Yeah. It was fun. Well, what happened was, it was just a lot of work for Doug and I, and it was like the month when we were starting to build out there, and I just couldn't get it together, because we would go every weekend and kind of add to it. And then, but we gave our stuff to the resource center, and now the resource center isn't using it, so I'm like, and then Troy pressured me. He really is a jerk. Like, totally pressured me. It's gonna be cool. Yeah, and then, I mean, there was a couple years, remember when the kids were like kind of lined up to go around? So hopefully.
Rock and roll.
All right, it is 7:01. This is our regular meeting for City of Idaho Springs Council, October 23rd, 2017. And I welcome everybody in the audience. It's nice to see everybody. I know most of you are with Officer Henning, so thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Can we have roll call, please?
Michael Hillman.
Here.
Kate Collier.
Here.
Tracy Stokes. Here. Bob Baldwin.
Here.
John Curtis.
Here.
Jason Siegel.
Here.
So please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. We have an agenda in front of us. Agenda? Some water.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
We do have one
I'll
thing.
second it.
I will be recusing myself. There's a public hearing about my business on the Liquor Authority. At that time, Bob will take over and do the public hearing on that. So now,
I'll move to approve the regular meeting agenda for October 23rd, 2017.
Second.
motion is second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. And conflict of interest, we already discussed. I will be not participating in that part. And I need approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes for regular meeting of October 9th.
Second.
Motion and a second. Everybody read the minutes? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. And we'll move to the bills. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve bills to October 23rd, 2017, and salaries from September 2017.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and seconds on the table. Discussion.
I have a question on page 7, second one from the bottom, Landmark Community Newspapers. It says past due invoice for $230. Line item 10-20-5313.
It's recording legal publications.
I'm sorry?
It's legal publications.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else? Roll call?
Michael Hellman,
Yes.
Kate Collier,
Yes.
Tracy Stokes, Bob Boland,
Yes.
John Curtis,
Yes.
Jason Segel.
Yes.
All right, thanks for
See ya.
What?
Isn't that you? You're out.
No, we're not there yet.
Okay.
We're gonna, now we're gonna, swear it in. Officer Nick Haney, please come up.
Hey, can we do this over here so I can get some angle? Yeah, just so I can get the angles of the pictures. There we go.
I, Nick Hannon, do solemnly declare and affirm that I will support and uphold the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution and the laws of the state of Colorado, and the laws and ordinances of the city of Idaho Springs, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of police officer for the state of Colorado, upon which I'm about to enter.
I do.
All right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, our family here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
The camera's strapped out.
It doesn't want to work.
Here we go, I got it. All right.
Got it?
Got it. Yeah.
Well, you come over and let's get a picture of you also.
Well, I got it. Okay. All right. All right, I'll say, now we have this choreographed. Yeah, you remember how to do this, right? Shake hands, right? Shake hands. There you go. Now you hold that. There we go. Okay.
Probably did this.
Kids, going over a little bit? 1, 2, 3. I can't see the, there you go, now I can see you. All right.
You got another one, hold on.
One more, now, what, there we go.
There it goes.
Smile.
All right, thank you.
All right.
All right.
Welcome to our family, guys.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
So one thing I recommend, we're not going away.
All right, do I have any unscheduled public comment? Andy, do I have any unscheduled public comment? Jennifer Castle.
Oh, yeah, that's right, she told me the other night she was coming.
She was coming in, well, she was supposed to come in 2 weeks ago, she said she'd come in tonight.
Yeah, I told you. I think she gets caught up down there.
Yeah. Hey Nate, would you introduce your family to us?
Yeah, this is my fiance, Christina Hartford. She goes by Tina. This is my oldest son, Branson. This is my middle son, Jojo. And this is baby Nathaniel.
Boys.
This is my dad, Brad Taylor. That's my youngest brother, Logan Knopfsinger. That's Tammy Taylor, my mother. That in the back corner is John Pinder and his wife Karen Pinder. John Pinder's my mentor from Park County.
Excellent.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming. All right.
Somebody forgot your
Thank
name.
you.
Oh,
On the floor. There you go.
Remember it.
Have a good night.
Oh,
2 points.
are you Nick?
Yes.
Now, how do you pronounce your last name?
Limberopoulos.
So I wasn't gonna try. So you're here for public comment or for the public hearing?
I was gonna comment on the small cell ordinance.
Okay, we're gonna have a public hearing on that, and let you make your comments, so we won't do that, okay? And we will move down to liquor licensing authority.
All right. I'm tempted to go somewhere to chair, but I defer.
And you have to come back and
Here
tell
for
me
the
that the
public hearing?
residents are hit 21 and
Public
under.
hearing out of the way? No, I'm here to participate.
You gotta testify. They kicked me out all the way into the office. Okay, this hearing will come to order. This is a public hearing before the Liquor Licensing Authority of the City of Idaho Springs to take testimony for consideration to modify the licensed premises for Eldata East Incorporated doing business as Wildfire Restaurant located at 2910 Colorado Boulevard. Persons signed up for public comment will be sworn in by the city clerk. The order of the hearing will be as follows. Staff report, the applicant, then public testimony or comment. This hearing is now declared open at 7:08. Okay, staff report, please.
Mayor and council, in accordance with CRS 12-47-311, the notice of public hearing to be held by the Liquor Authority concerning the above referenced application was published in the Clear Creek Current on October 11, 2013, and is marked as Exhibit A, and was posted on the premises on October 13, 2017. And the criteria and results of my investigation is outlined in my staff report. Anybody has any questions?
All right, any questions? All right, then with that, then our staff report, if the applicant would give his testimony, please. And you would identify yourself, please, because no one.
Do I need to swear?
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth, the truth, and the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I did.
Thank you.
Council, Mayor, I'm Mike Hillman, reside at 1910 Minor Street here in Idaho Springs. This is a referral to my business at 2910 Colorado Boulevard. My intentions here is with the new construction, I already have been issued a liquor license for the portion inside my building and the previous patio area that I had. And what I'm asking the council to approve tonight is an additional area on the east side of my walkway that would basically mimic the west side, so I can, in the future, when the project's done on Colorado Boulevard, to be able to serve alcohol and have more outdoor seating.
So like right next to your front door, just to the right of that, is that what you're talking about? Not on
Correct.
the side, yeah, not on the parking lot side of your building, or around.
No,
Okay.
it's all in the front, as marked, as you can see with the
Yeah.
drawing that I gave. It had the original outline of my
Right.
existing permitted area, and I'm asking for the additional area on what would be the east side of my building up front.
The only question I really had was, where's your front door gonna be? Is that moving?
No, it's there, and maybe we should
It's
have.
not.
No, it's the same, really, I probably should have
Is
drew
it
a
gonna be
line.
like here?
Yes, it's right there.
But,
It's right there.
well, what I'm saying is you still have to go through the patio, that right? So what I,
Well, there's two different concrete pads. I'm
Right.
assuming you're gonna put a walkway.
Through
Well,
the
the
middle.
walkway comes in between, and that
Right.
has to be a serving area also, and I believe it's, well, there's the door.
it doesn't
If
have
you
to
see,
be a
right
ser-
here's the door.
right.
See where those lines are? That's the door.
Yeah,
And the reason I went ahead and include that, so it almost looks like I couldn't even come out of the door with alcohol. So
I got you.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure that was closed. If based on I was standing on the walkway, then we'd be
Right,
okay.
right. Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
That was it. Well, if you can sell more booze, it's more better for the city, right?
More better for the city, more better for myself, and, I just don't think it would make sense to have another area of outdoor seating without being able to serve alcohol.
Absolutely.
So it's gonna be enclosed, or you're just gonna put up a partial wall?
No, what I'll have to do per, code for a liquor license, I'll have to still put a railing around the serving area.
Yeah.
So that will go in at a later time. I will go ahead and say I will, come back and ask for, as other people have, for a revocable encroachment agreement from the city, so that I can set everything up and put the railing up and use that area.
Okay, so I'll have a neat symmetrical look, I would think. That's
Yes.
nice, okay. All right, and you're looking at tables and umbrellas, not
Tables and
structure,
umbrellas, no
saying.
permanent structures anymore,
Okay.
or structures that can be removed. This would all be, railing and tables and umbrellas.
Okay.
So really all we're doing is you're asking to extend basically the perimeter of your existing liquor license
Correct,
to include your new patio area.
correct.
And I kind of like the idea of not putting the roof over it. I mean, for you, it keeps your restaurant bright through
It's-
the winter when.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and a little bit less maintenance. The other one was about 16 years old, and it definitely had its wear on it.
Yeah, all
When
right.
the wind blew, it was kind of leaving my feet.
Well,
So I think this is a much better option. I'm very excited about what's going on.
It looks great,
On the
yeah.
street in front of my business, and I will be doing some improvements, some facade improvements.
Cool.
So I think this will tie the whole building and the whole concept in together.
Cool.
Okay, any other questions of the applicant?
Nope.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Testimony. Okay, Andy or Diana, or any comments? I think we have one. Or Paul, I think that's what I understood.
Delineation.
Nobody has signed up.
Nobody signed up, all right.
The sheet's right here.
No, it was that gentleman.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that
He's
was
already on
for
there.
something, oh, okay,
He's
all
already
right
on
then.
there.
All right, well, that being the case then, I will declare this hearing now closed at 7:14. And council discussion.
Honestly, I think that what Mike's doing is gonna tie his building and update it in the way that we want all business owners on the east side of town to go forward with. And I think you setting the example and showing it doesn't have to be a big improvement, but it could be a great improvement to each business is a good step. So I have no problem with it.
Okay, then I would entertain a motion to approve or modify.
I move to approve the modification of premises Hills Daddies Inc.
Okay, second please.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, let's see, I think we need to do this roll call.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Tracy Stokes. Yes. Bob Baldwin.
Yes,
Joe Curtis.
Yes.
Jason Siegel.
Yes.
okay, motion passes.
Right.
Thank you, council.
Mike, that was rough, I've gotta take a break. And also
Is this
clean
the
up
first time you've had to
water.
run a meeting or run anything since you've been on, isn't it? I think you've done one more for us.
I've gotta clean up the water I spilled. I always spill. You get me. Oh, thank you.
Okay, we will now move down to resolutions. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve resolution number 24, series 2017, a resolution supporting the city's application for Great Outdoors Colorado GOCO grant funding for the Virginia Canyon Open Space Project.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second on the table, discussion.
The only thing I want to make sure is that when going forward, that you guys, when you, that you just really think about what the names are for that project, and that we don't get like hard and fast on one particular name. I've had a lot of people comment, you know, that they want to include Area 28 and then some of the former biker groups that have been in, have some sort of say or at least suggestions of what some of the trails would be called. So that's all.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
I
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll move down to our ordinance reading.
Are we just doing the presentation? We're not reading this one though, right? Is that what's going on?
We still need to do the public hearing. So we are now, it is, we're gonna go into a public hearing. And ordinance number 21, series 2017, an ordinance amending Article 12 of Chapter 21 of the Idaho Springs Municipal Code to regulate and allow small cell commercial wireless telecommunication service facilities. This hearing will come to order. This is a public hearing before the City Council of the Idaho Springs on an ordinance amending Article 12 of Chapter 21 of the Idaho Springs Municipal Code to regulate and allow small cell commercial wireless telecommunication service facilities. The order of this hearing will be as follows: staff introduction and testimony, public testimony, and when do we give the applicant time to talk? It doesn't say it on here. I guess we can.
Staff, then applicant, then public.
Okay, so staff, then applicant, then public. This hearing is now declared open. It is now 7:17. Staff testimony, please.
Mayor and Council, Alan Tiefenbach, the Community Development Planner, is on vacation today, and you have staff reports from him before you, and be happy to answer any questions you might have.
All right. Does anybody have any questions that Angie and I may answer?
It seems to me that we don't have a great deal of choice in this entire matter.
So basically, the state has a new bill that's coming into play that's
Yeah, we're
requiring
gonna allow
us to
the
approve
applicants
things
to talk
within
about
90
that.
days.
The applicant's gonna come up and talk about that a little bit, and talk about some of the suggestions that we would like to see on the ordinance before we actually adopt it.
Okay.
And make it,
Okay.
make it a permanent ordinance. So,
And when you say
Nick.
applicant, that's.
the applicant is Nick, say it again.
Limberopolis.
Like it.
Would you
Come on
spell that
up.
for me, please?
Diane's gonna swear you in.
Limberopoulos. Good Irish name, right? I hear that all the time.
You could raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, if you'd state your name again and who you're representing.
I'm Nick Limberopoulos. I'm an attorney with the Bush Law Firm. I'm here on behalf of AT&T, standing in for my coworker, Liz Walker, who sent along to you all some of our comments and our proposed red lines to the ordinance earlier today. Hopefully you all received them. And I just want to preface our comments by thanking you all for being willing to receive our commentary late in the game. We apologize for jumping into this dance sort of in midstream. We didn't learn about the ordinance until very recently. And we do applaud the city and the city council and staff for taking proactive steps to provide for the responsible and rapid deployment of small cell infrastructure in the city's right of way. As you just mentioned, the state has already taken some steps to provide for a streamlined permitting process of small cell infrastructure in the right of way. It's certainly the wave of the future. It's what we anticipate all the wireless carriers are going to be doing, is providing more robust capacity, complementary service in the right of way to augment the traditional macro tower networks that are already out there. Again, we do applaud you all for taking these proactive steps. However, as we mentioned in our comment letter, we do have a few concerns that we wanted to go over with you. First and foremost, the separation requirement. In consulting with AT&T's engineers, I will share with you that there isn't a separation requirement that they find acceptable. It's not 1,000 feet, not 100 feet, not 10 feet. Be that as it may, I will tell you all that my biggest concern as a wordsmith is that your ordinance refers to separation requirements with respect to small cell facilities, and I think really where all the stakeholders are aligned is with respect to new pole infrastructure. And I would suggest, and our red lines reflect, that that particular provision be revised to make clear that the separation requirement applies not to the small cell facilities,
but to installing new poles. So in other words, if you're attaching your small cell facilities on existing pole, or you're replacing an existing pole for purposes of accommodating a new small cell facility installation, that separation requirement should not apply. And that's sort of the motivation behind the red lines you see that we submitted to you all earlier today. We also provided comment on the restriction of 2 feet above pole top for small cell attachments. We also submitted to you all, I believe, some, what they're called, well, they're basically zoning drawings that show what AT&T's standard pole top configurations look like, and almost every standard pole configuration exceeds the 2-foot requirement. So that's definitely going to place a strain on AT&T and their network design. Finally, as you guys mentioned, to make sure that your ordinance aligns with state law, we would encourage you all to clarify that any small cell facility installation in the city's right-of-way would be approved administratively by right. Your current ordinance alludes to a conditional use permitting process, which potentially could conflict with state law. And on that note, we also did provide you some comment on currently controlling federal law, which provides that a state or local government may not deny and shall approve what are described as eligible facilities requests, which are basically modifications of existing tower sites that don't substantially change the physical dimensions of the tower. Again, the idea is that all stakeholders are in agreement. We want to reduce or eliminate the proliferation of new tower development. And with that in mind, there's a lot of policy coming down the pike at the federal, state, and local level, which provides incentives to co-locate on existing infrastructure. That's the goal of the federal law, that's the goal of the state law. And we would encourage you all to adopt section 6409 of the federal law in your local ordinance so that it aligns with federal law. And again, it provides an incentive for applicants to co-locate on existing infrastructure by way of a streamlined process for installing your equipment on existing poles and towers. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you all might have.
Okay, so the separation, it's not so much the actual wireless devices, it's the pole that there's, and you can have multiple small cell wireless devices on the same tower, is what you're saying.
That's certainly
1,000-foot rule
our
would
hope,
negate that possibility.
Yeah, and I think as written, it could be construed to mean that you can't even co-locate a second set of antennas. Let's suppose AT&T's already on a pole and Verizon comes along and wants to co-locate on that same pole. The language of your ordinance as written suggests that AT&T would be in violation of your separation requirement.
Correct.
So that's the motivation behind some of our red lines.
Yeah, well, you're actually looking at aesthetics, I assume, not radiation or anything like that, but it's an aesthetic issue. And how big are these antennas? You define maybe up to 5 feet, they say at least. But I'm just wondering, are they kind of the same dimension as the ones we see now on the big towers?
No, I would suggest when it comes to small cell right-of-way siting, typically, and especially in your downtown corridor, you can reasonably expect that they would be designed to blend in with the streetscape, and you wouldn't see large panel antennas installed on your utility poles or your street lights, I can assure you of that.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that was.
Are these more repeater type you're talking about, or just?
I'm trained to be an attorney.
Okay.
I would tell you that I would accept that nomenclature. I don't know if an engineer would, but I understand what you're saying. I think, again, it's intended to augment the traditional macro tower network by providing capacity overlay in difficult to reach, aesthetically sensitive areas, areas where you can expect spikes in congestion, in use and congestion. I think your downtown minor street corridor is a perfect example where small cells would be a suitable application. I mean, no one wants to see a 200-foot pole on Minor Street, right?
Nick, are you trying to fill in the blanks, like the gray areas, if you will, of no service and or subpar service? Is that what we're trying to get to?
Well, I would say small cells are not so much about gaps in coverage as they are about capacity overlay for data service.
Okay.
Okay, do we have any more questions for Nick?
And we're happy to continue to work with staff. I don't know how much time is left in this ordinance proceeding, but, you know, we're happy to pick this back up offline with staff if you guys want to work on some revisions.
All right, do I have any questions from the public? All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
So what happened with the city attorney meeting, with the planning commission? Okay.
So this hearing is now closed. It is 7:24. Any more discussion for council? Hearing none. So what I would like to do with this is, since we received a list of a few things that we should consider before we adopt the ordinance, we're gonna table this vote until December 11th. This way, having a set date to revisit this and make a ruling on it, that would take us out of having to repost it and going through the whole public hearing process and everything. So we have a date certain, December 11th, that will come back, and then we're gonna have our city attorney come in and talk us through this, and any legal questions that we have for Carmen can be answered at that time. Okay? Nick, did you understand what we're doing?
So it's being tabled on the 11th. Is that the final hearing?
That will be the final, and there won't be another public hearing.
Okay.
There'll just be modifications to the ordinance,
Okay.
if so desired by the council.
Okay.
And then we'll read it and accept it or adopt it or decline it at that time.
Okay.
So do we have any other companies other than AT&T providing input on this? Is there a reason why AT&T is the only one?
Yeah, sure, open up to Sprint and T-Mobile and everybody. Anybody wants to put in.
Once our ordinance is in place, then everybody.
Yeah, you're just simply first in line,
Correct.
that's all.
That was my question.
Yeah.
It's not exclusive.
Okay.
I can say with some confidence that all of the comments I shared with you today, all the other carriers would be,
Okay.
nothing controversial that I shared with you.
All right, thank you very
Thanks,
much.
The further delay seems very unlikely unless something surprising happens, I would think. So,
Okay, let's move on. So we'll move down to ordinance reading number 20.
I'll move to approve ordinance number 20, series 2017, an ordinance accepting and recognizing a portion of Soda Creek Road as a legal public street.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, roll call?
Michael Hillman.
Yes.
Nate Collier.
Yes.
Lucy Stokes. Bob Baldwin.
yes,
John Curtis.
Yes.
Jason Segel.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna move down to city administrator.
Mayor and council, you have my report before you. No request for action. I do want to emphasize a couple upcoming events. This coming Wednesday, there will be an open house and presentation on the updated comprehensive plan. This is the final draft. It'll be here at City Hall from 5:30 to 7, and Alan will be making a brief presentation at 6 p.m. And there's also a Clear Creek Rural Housing Strategy Workshop that is sponsored in part by Clear Creek Economic Development Corporation and Downtown Colorado Inc. And that'll be on November 9th from 9 to 4. The mayor and I and Alan are attending. If anyone else would like to attend, it is free of charge to people who live and work in Clear Creek County. So I think it'll be an interesting day. That's it.
Okay. Any questions for Andy?
How do we manage to always put the comprehensive plan things on the same night as something going on at the school? Yeah, they're doing like the school district presentation on how they spend money.
It's kind of,
Where's that at? High school?
That's it.
I just wanted to thank you.
Now, this will be presented to the Planning Commission on November 1st, at the meeting on November 1st,
Okay.
and then to City Council for consideration after that.
That's Clear Creek County.
There'll be other opportunities to hear about it.
I know, but
Excellent.
is our high school in Evergreen?
Any more questions for Andy? All right, we'll move down to city clerk. City clerk?
Mayor and council, I have my staff report for your review with 2 requests for action.
All right.
I'm actually gonna move, do you mind if I make a move?
Motion.
I'm gonna move to approve, the increase in pay for Catherine Cook, effective October 30th, 2017.
Second, the rest of it.
Oh, sorry. And in addition, the cost of living increase that all employees will receive in January 2018.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
I think Diane made a very succinct point. Katie does stuff way above and beyond her job description. I think that it's invaluable, and I mean, especially when it comes to IT. I don't think anyone else.
And the website alone,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, we have a
is,
YouTube channel now, like.
Yeah.
you're live now.
No, but it's invaluable, and I
wait a
think, yeah, everybody's chin up.
Yeah, as you can see, was my bald head from.
I think it's a big
You
value to
did.
the city.
I'm not saying.
I agree, I think, you know, the web, like you said, the website, and not only the website, but the, you know, the analytics from the website and getting those submitted. We have the webcam out on the street, the new stuff in here, getting us on YouTube. It's absolutely the direction that I've heard some of my constituents ask us to go towards, so I think this is great,
She's helped bring us into the 21st century.
absolutely.
We still have a ways to go.
We do a little bit, but you guys are doing a great job, and please, you know, thank Katie.
I will, thank you.
And the only comment that I would throw out, or a couple of comments, is, you know, Catherine is doing a great job. I don't mind this, I'm just a little bit concerned about giving a raise first of November and then again at first.
Would you rather have it,
All together.
All
one
together?
time, First of the year. That's my other comment.
I mean,
I feel like she could use the money now. And it was previously, given by this council just recently for Public Works Department.
Right,
Precedent,
yeah,
precedent,
I think it's fine to do now, we have the money in the budget, correct, to do current.
Well, I guess my question is to concur, to help you back that up, is how long has Katie been doing this stuff?
Quite a long time.
Yeah.
So,
For a while.
so sooner rather than later, I think, and that,
I
she's
agree.
been not being paid for it for a while, so that would be, I know it's probably more
I mean,
paperwork and
what's the
details.
administrative cost to do it now and also?
Again later.
Alright, I'd say we're gonna do it now.
Okay,
It's a good point, though, Mike.
any more? Hearing none, roll call?
Michael Hellman,
Yes.
Kate Collier,
Yes.
Tracy Stokes. Yes. Bob Baldwin,
Yes.
John Curtis,
Yes.
Jason Siegel.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Passes. And we have a.
But wait, we have another motion
Mm-hmm.
here.
I'll move to approve the preparation of all documents necessary to reinstate the city's prior practice of billing for sewer service for May through October using the lesser of actual water usage or average winter water usage. Further move that the reinstatement of this billing practice be applied by city staff to customers' bills for periods of June 1st, 2017 through July 31st, 2017, and April 1st, 2017 through May 31st, 2017.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, discussions on the table. Anybody have anything they'd like to say?
And actually what that means is the next billing period, which will go out in November, will include the averaging. And as council directed in previous work sessions, we are working on credits for the previous 2 billing periods.
But not to send it back out, but just to apply it to the next bill, correct?
Or it may be a couple of bills.
Yeah.
I don't know how they
We're
decide.
Sorry.
going back to when the averaging should have occurred
Right,
to give the credits.
right.
Right.
The next billing period will include the averaging
And
as
the credit.
is normal.
Okay, great, thanks.
And let's say, so our next water bill is gonna be X amount of dollars going back to how we used to do it. And if there's a credit due, that will.
I'm not sure that we'll be able to do the credits on this billing period, the one that comes out in November, just because we're so short-staffed.
Right, I understand. That was gonna be my next question, the administrative task itself, is it?
It's, Katie started to work on it before Caitlin left, but it's,
Okay.
it's kinda stalled because of other,
No, it's a massive project.
it is. And with, you know, the short
Is there
staff
any
in the
help from
office.
Cassell, like tech support on that at all?
No, she called, Cassell, and they're like, you're gonna have to hand calculate it.
Really? every time we do this?
No.
No, just
just
for,
now.
just for the
Yeah.
first
Just
one.
For the reimbursement.
Okay.
So moving forward, after all the credits have been calculated, the administrative nightmare goes away.
Yes.
And then I would like to still revisit on how we allow, whether we ask the customers to come in and sign up for it.
Well, you're going to be giving everybody
Yeah.
every residential person the sewer averaging, just like it was before.
Right.
But if
All the commercial
somebody has a
people,
rock yard, are we still billing?
But it won't affect them because they're not using the water
It's
back there.
based on usage.
You know what I mean? It's just based on usage.
Yeah, but what if they got a leaky toilet? And it runs up 5,000 extra gallons? So they're basically getting, we've
that's,
discussed that other time.
well, that's the issue that you had
That's
prior
Before,
to.
yeah. How do you prove what the
Right.
usage
The
was
issue,
for?
what our options were before,
Was everybody got it no matter what?
Well, you'll have historical data when somebody has a leaky toilet or something outside.
without the, before we made this change, it would have been required for them to come, right?
Only businesses, only commercial properties would have to come in and sign up for it. Everybody else got it regardless.
Right, which is now what we
That-
went back
That's
to.
what we're gonna go back to.
Right, so nobody has to apply for it, but what you're saying is that somebody's using,
I'm just a little concerned somebody getting averaging when they're really not watering their yards, because that's what this is all about.
right,
Is people keeping their lawns and their, their grass and their flowers nice and pretty for the city. That's another discussion, we don't have to make that really much.
We could add that to Chief Malenka's duties in
We
his
can go around when
department.
they come in, or he can go around and do data and make a
Get the
spreadsheet
trees
for.
grass.
You can put one of the readers, the automatic readers on
Or
there.
got train cars and
I was thinking about the other stuff.
Okay, any more discussion? Roll call.
Michael Hillman.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Tracy Stokes. Poland.
Yes.
Chuck Curtis.
Yes.
Siegel.
Sort of here.
All right, we'll move down. Chief, you're up.
Mayor and council, I'll refer you to my report. I have one request for action, and that is that we convert Janelle Miller from part-time to full-time status effective November 6th. She is scheduled to be converted to full-time as of January 1st, but in light of our workload and the fact that there's a surplus from the vacant sergeant/lieutenant position, we do have the available funding.
I move to approve Janelle Miller to full-time status effective November 6, 2017.
Second. Motion and seconds on the table. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Michael Hillman.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Tracy Stokes.
Yes.
Bob Boland.
Yes.
Chuck Curtis.
Yes.
Jason Siegel.
yes.
All right,
Gee.
Thank you.
we'll move on down. Public Works.
Mayor and council, I refer to my staff report, and I have 3 requests for action.
I saw you were boss. I thought you were talking about, an adjective. I didn't realize it was a thing.
So the Vector trailer was budgeted for this year, and the quotes that I got last year were about 50 to 55,000. I actually got it on state bid for 40, just less than 40,000. I would like to take the remainder of that and purchase a snowplow for one of the last pickups we have that doesn't have a snowplow on it.
So this is coming from a surplus from a line item that you had set aside for.
Precisely. And then the last one is to move a telephone pole and guide wire that's part of the Greenway Trail. And that should be reimbursed through the
GoCo man.
GoCo grant.
Okay?
Ready?
Yeah.
I move to approve $6,639 to OJ Watson Company, Inc. for a Boss snowplow from line item number 55-74-7421.
Do I have a second? Discussion. Are we sure this is O.J. Watson and not O.J.?
Yeah, I almost said that's a little too close.
Okay, any more, any questions for John on this? Hearing none, roll call.
Michael Hillman.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Casey Stokes.
Yes.
Bob Boland.
Yes.
Kevin Curtis.
Yes.
Jason Siegel.
Right, do I have a motion?
For the next,
Yes, please.
I move to approve, 39,375 to Vermeer Sales and Service of Colorado from line item 55-74-7421.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion.
Yes. Question, what exactly are you looking at?
That is they call it a vacuum excavator.
Uh-huh.
But due to the fact that we're gonna have numerous drop drains and storm drains on Colorado Boulevard, and in the future, all the streets that we do, they're not really accessible by shovel, so this will basically, it's a giant vacuum cleaner. And we can use it in those types, or we can use it in sewer manholes
Yeah.
also.
No,
So
but
this is to clean out inlets and things like that?
Correct.
So it looks like pretty big capacity too.
It's 500 gallon capacity.
Okay. Yeah, well, we wouldn't be getting the big trailer, as, like
Yeah, that's.
5,000, yeah, so, okay, boy, that sounds
Anything
good.
else for discussion with John? Roll call?
Michael Hillman.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Casey Stokes.
Yes.
Bob Boland.
Yes,
John Curtis.
Yes.
Jason Siegel.
All right,
yay.
any motion?
I move to approve $7,040.21 to Xcel Energy from line item 2100-3760.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second on the table, discussion. Did we make contact with GOCO to make sure this could be reimbursed from their grant if we pay for it upfront? So that's
Rand will check with it.
Okay, all right. This is, and then is a pole that has to be moved, like John said, for the Greenway project. And we want to go ahead and get this done because we know once we schedule it, we're waiting on Xcel Energy. If we don't get it
So
scheduled
maybe
now.
5 years from now.
Well,
Well, you want it done before the project's
John
done.
got a brand new chainsaw that it's too long, he's just gonna take care of himself.
The pedestrian bridge, that's the Greenway Authority's gonna pay for that, or what's
The bridge from the.
this
North End.
pedestrian bridge?
Yes, yes.
Part of the project.
That's part of the Greenway.
Yep, part of the project.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Michael Hillman.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Casey Stokes.
Yes.
Bob Boland.
Yes.
John Curtis.
Yes.
Jason Siegel.
Yes.
All right, nice job. Public Works, water and wastewater.
Mayor and council, I would refer you to my staff report, and I do have a request for action on my report.
I was just
And-
gonna praise you, I don't have anything.
I was gonna say
Did you
something.
give us something?
It's
Dan?
on my staff report.
I missed it then.
Okay, tell us what it is.
We would like to get approval for JJ to begin task one for engineering on the expansion.
All right,
Uh-huh.
very good.
I'll move to
Exciting.
approve the $27,000 to JVA for project needs assessment and alternate selection for the wastewater treatment plant expansion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, discussion. Roll call.
Michael Hillman.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Casey Stokes.
Yes.
Bob Boland.
Yes.
John Curtis.
Yes.
Jason Siegel.
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll move down to committee reports. Did I have anything?
I just, John, you guys were involved, Public Works was involved with pulling that flagpole down at the library, correct?
No. Oh, yeah.
I just want to tell you, like, 3 people came up to me and said, what a great job that you guys did. It was a little late, they did it last week, but they were like completely amazed, and they love the fact that it's gonna be a new pole, so they wanted me to extend thank you to you and your staff.
Not saying anything. What was that last week?
It wasn't done last week, they just told me to
Oh, I
thank
was
them
gonna
last
say,
week.
that thing's been down.
Yeah, it's been for a while, but they, I don't see
Took a while
everybody.
for us to get it taken down, but.
No, but I don't see everybody all the time, so.
So bad news arrives much more quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell them, they were actually thought it was kind of an engineering feat the way you guys handled it, so they were very impressed.
We ran that crane pretty well.
Cut it off, no problem.
So much water under the bridge
All
since.
right. Under mayor and council, next week is gonna be the 5th. What do we have for a work session next week, Andy?
Nothing scheduled for next.
Nothing scheduled, so-
Fifth Monday. Cool.
Happy Halloween.
Working,
Yeah.
working.
So no meeting next week, then we'll come back the first week of November. We'll continue with budget
Yes.
discussion.
Yes.
That's when Carmen will be here also to talk about talk about the AT&T deal. And if we can think of anything else that needs to be on that work session, let's just give Andy or Diane a call and,
Should we put the compensation plan on there?
on the,
Or should we say that for the next one?
when are we looking to adopt the comp plan?
Well, it should be tied, it's tied into the budget, so.
Okay, so we need to put that on,
Yeah.
any discussion for comp plan on that same work session.
Yes.
Anything else you think of?
You make a comment about the event on Saturday.
The what?
You want to make a comment about the event on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, I will. So the gala went very well, probably close to 200 people there.
It's a lot of fun.
My wife was raising that paddle with my number on there, left and right.
I know you got a ski trip to Steamboat, huh?
Oh, by the way, Libby said she has a bunch of people that will buy it off of you.
Oh, really? I don't know, the Andy's already said. I've already got 5 couples.
She said, yeah, she said, we've got 5 couples that are, Libby's the librarian, the director.
We can start the bidding again.
Yeah, you guys can get up
Get
it.
the extra to,
Yeah.
that's not a bad idea.
She did mention it today, it was funny.
Yeah, because when I mentioned ski passes and Steamboat, Chris always, well, it's me and Jason. And I was like,
What the hell? Where's the bills, people? Those are
It was a
most-
good event, greatly attended, and I think everybody this year, for the most part, kind of got their levels of participating in drinks, so
Yeah.
at a pretty good level.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun, so.
I didn't have to carry anybody off the elevator this year.
But his wife drove home.
We didn't stay there.
Do you have something for us?
Yes, 2 other items for work session, Mayor. West End Hose House, that, would like to add that to the agenda. And also the grant program for the East End.
Yes.
For
I'm
the
glad you
signs and
mentioned that.
facades. We'll bring some information on what that might look like, get council input on some of the parameters and how that might work, and we'd like to get that going.
Absolutely, because we've already got a couple people that are going to start coming, and we actually had one request. So we need for, be the grant, $25,000 grant.
From the economic development.
Yeah, we need to set the parameters and the criteria
Or how people can apply for
how
that.
they can apply for it, was on it. And we were kind of looking at $2,500 limit.
Yeah, and that's some of the things we need to talk about, what will be the maximum, grant, and, what will be the process, and those sorts of things,
And I firmly believe that if people are using this money the right way, there's some improvements being noticed by the Henderson company, that there would be a good chance that we could go back and ask for some more. That's what they're expecting to see, is driving down Boulevard East End and seeing things happening, seeing where this money's going. And we're not required to, but I'd like to report back to Henderson of the properties that have used that. And that
Nice.
we've issued that money to, so that they can come out and actually see what they're doing. So,
Yeah, absolutely, that's awesome.
all right, so why don't we plan on 6 o'clock?
Yep.
Let's bring pizza, because it's gonna be a long meeting. Everybody with that? Barbecue or pizza?
I smell barbecue, it's so weird you said that.
That's big mac and cheese. That's on the
7th?
4th, I think. Oh, no, that's not right.
Six.
The
I
6th.
think we should do smoking yards, since they're about to get tore up from the
Okay.
floor up right now.
Let's plan on having barbecue on that night.
Unless it's paleo.
What?
She's doing
There's
paleo.
no carbs on meat.
You
Eat just bacon all day.
All right, got anything else, council? So, November 7th will be the end of the election. We will be able to appoint our new candidates and council people on the
13th.
13th of November. Thanks, Scott, for, I don't know how, does anybody know how, is there a line to write in on? Oh, that's why I didn't see it, you're not my ward. That's, okay.
Yeah.
It is on Ward
There-
1.
So it doesn't have your name on it, right? Just a line there?
That's the whole point of a write-in.
Did you write it in?
Yeah.
But anybody just can't write somebody's name in there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Anybody can.
No, they have to come in
Oh,
and
for
file
the
first
vote.
that they're running.
Well, you could write anybody's name in there, but unless they've filed paperwork,
Then it's-
that, I mean, you could write Oprah in there.
Right.
But it's, unless Oprah has,
I
a
think I had,
residency here.
I think I had one vote for presidency, so. Thanks, everybody, good job. Meeting adjourned. It is 7:50.